Hi, and welcome to the network, Feature Focus Friday. Today we are featuring Vinny, who is doing multiple things for people. We do have a positive sound check, and I have a cat.
Meow.
There's Donna's foot for all you foot fetish people.
Hey, wow.
Enjoy.
Hi, Harry. Thanks for Donna for inviting me on. We're going to talk about Jeffrey Winehouse. I've got a fundraiser going for his family. There's a great story to go with that about Jeffrey and his character. And as I open the page, I see a new donor. Thanks so much. Just from 3 hours ago. Thank you, Vincent, for doing this. I've followed the wrongful incarceration and communicated with him several times. I wish I could do more. That's pretty awesome. They donated anonymously. So a friend to Jeff says that was for $45, which hey, that matched and surpassed what I'd already got together. So we're at $80 out of $250. This is from GiveSendGo.com, unjustly convicted prisoner Christmas fund. So I was talking been talking to Jeffrey for a while now. Of course, I've followed along this story for some time, and I decided now was the time to open communications with him. And I found he's been a real super positive guy. He's got several people that do support him. Somebody's outside, I think, hollering for me. I'll see if I can ignore him. He's just really impressed me. And I've talked to him. Now, my thing is to guard your words. And this is what's getting so many people in trouble. And I asked him, I said, can you guys hold? I'm sorry, just a second. I'll be right back.
For those joining us on this Feature Focus Friday,
okay.
A little bit about Jeffrey Winehouse, who's a political prisoner. And Vinny can go over a little bit about why he is very important to a lot of us.
Yes. So what we say, and people like myself, Jeffrey, Jason Patrick, who did time over the Oregon standoff, is members of media. So our First Amendment that we think we have, we might have the right to say what we want to, but I'm going to tell you from the Miranda Act, whatever you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Believe that. Even for saying things of what you might have done, as in the case with Gregory Bullison from Bunkerville, 68 years. But Jeff, he had put out a video and condemning some judges and politicians and told them to vacate office or be removed by Constitution Day. So they sent this in and they looked at it and they sent a couple cops out there to talk to Jeff to see if he's a threat to himself or others. During that time, they used the premise of smelling marijuana to enter his house, and they took his computers for some reason. I don't know why that would be relevant to the smell of marijuana, which experts will testify that it was impossible for this cop to be able to smell that. I'm going to flip through notes as I'm going to gather up some names over here. But anyway, so they take it in, and then they charge him on that for like interfering with a public official or something like that, to that effect. Well, after it all said and done, that charge was dismissed, but it did go before his jury during the trial, which they threw that out, but they didn't. The judge didn't tell the jury to disregard that, or really it should have been a mistrial at that point. But so they call him up saying, "Hey, we got your computers. Why don't you come pick it up?" Sorry, I'm flipping to all these pages. And when he gets there, within 15 seconds, in 13 actually, he's on the ground, shot 4 times, twice in the chest, twice in the head. What happened, the cop, he gets out of the car and he says, "What are you doing with that gun?" He said, Jeffrey says, "What are you doing with your gun?" And he says, "I'm authorized to have this." And about that time, boom, boom, boom. The fourth shot appears to have been standing over the top of Jeffrey, and the bullet fell on the ground. So his name was Sergeant Henry Folsom from the Missouri State Highway Patrol at Troop I. Along with him was Colonel Scott Mertens. Robert E. Parks was the Franklin County prosecutor, and there were some people that all kind of channeled back into Governor Che Nixon. Now
it's important to point out that Jeffrey was elected to, what was it, the coroner?
No, he was running for office. He'd run for that in another office. Yeah, so that he could bring about investigation into the sheriff and to a couple of unsolved murders. But basically what he is
much. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Say again.
Apparently they didn't like that too much.
No. You know, we look at how things are. Go ahead, Terry.
I mean, the other thing is when you're talking about the altercation between him and the cops and him and the police when he got shot, he wasn't outside of his rights to be having a pistol, correct?
That's correct. Yeah, it's lawful carry. He was wearing. He was wearing his pistol. I'm sorry, I overrode you again.
No, I'm saying like he was lawfully carrying, and he was shot by the police with no instigation.
Yeah, when you look at it, it looks everything is an assassination and a setup for the cop to say that, because he's obviously got a recording going, audio probably, and then so unknown to him and others was the fact that Jeffrey was wearing a spy watch and the whole thing was videoed, and they didn't get to show that in court. There's so much about his trial that I have to talk about that more. There's a big long list of folks there. Now he was wearing his pistol on his left hip, and it's I forget what kind of holster it is, but it's not a fast, draw. And he was headed on the other side because of the seatbelt, it kind of inhibit him when he was driving. He gets out. The cops say, "What are you doing with that gun?" And then in court they testify that he reached for his gun. Now, when the cop went up there, when Folsom went up there to him after shooting him, he pulls the gun out. I'll tell you a story. A cousin of mine was a canine cop, and he told me a story one time that they chased this guy down, and the time the coroner got there for investigation, rolled the body over. It's like 6 pistols on him. Throwdowns. Cops carry throwdowns. Well, since Jeffrey had his own pistol, this cop was going to pull it out and place him to the side of him. He gets seen, and he says, I'm just checking to see if it's secure and put it in this holster. Now, when does a cop ever secure a pistol by placing it back into a holster of a suspect or whatever you want to call him? Well, it was definitely a setup to assassinate him and shut him down. There has to be some very deep connections going back through channels. This Good Old Boy was where I was going, the Good Old Boy Club, and that's how the law system works too. Of course, you got to be a member of the bar to be a prosecutor, and other offices. I think like for being sheriff, I think you have to. No, you got to have some type of requirement. I forget on that part. Anyways, all the Good Old Boy Club. So I just really got to wonder what was Jeffrey onto, because nothing really got hugely exposed. Now Jeffrey's been in prison for 9 years now. The unjust conviction, absolutely, is so much to say about his trial. Let's see here. I think I found that case number. I called the prosecutor today, Matt Becker. I called his office, flipping back pages here, in Franklin County up in Missouri, to speak to him about this new revised statute in Missouri, which is 547.031. And what that is now, we just saw some history being made with this man of, how many years was he in there? 43, I believe. His name is Kevin Strickland, unjustly incarcerated. And they applied this woman from Jackson County the prosecutor there, that's up in Kansas City, is Jean Peters Baker. And she filed this notice of, wait a minute, she filed a motion, and what that does is filing a notice for the dismissal of a wrongful conviction. There's a lot to be read about this revised statute in Missouri. We find to dismiss all counts with prejudice, Missouri prosecuting attorney motion to set aside the judgment of conviction pursuant to RSMO 547-031. And what that does is bring forth evidentiary hearing, and that comes after that, the movement's motion, and it has to be from a county prosecutor or there's one other person that's just about the same thing, somebody that travels around doing that. So after all parties, all participants rested in the court, in court, so the judge takes that matter under advisement pending receipt of further written arguments, as well as transcripts and from prior proceedings as required by the statute. Now, going with that, if I can turn to it, it's very interesting that, where did I write that down at? Anyways, well, I lost my direction on that. Let me just stop there. So Kevin Strickland, yeah, after 43 years, he's released. And I called Matt Becker's office to talk to him. I got his secretary. I recorded it. It's a one-party law up there. Only one person has to know you're recording. But I asked her at the end of the call. Again, I forget to tell her at the beginning, like I did when I called the governor's office. But anyways, I asked her if it'd be all right with her if I published it for publication. She said for me to talk to Matt Becker. So I left a message for him. Then she transferred me over his voicemail and asked if he could call, that I was advocating for him to take up this cause here in the case for Jeffrey Winehouse. Now there's a movie in the works or about Jeffrey Winehouse's situation. Is that in the works, or is it already up and out there? Bulletin Man. Yeah. Let's see. It was going to be called tentatively Silencing Bulletin Man. Bulletin Man. It's Bullitin, like a bulletin that pass out. Bulletin Man, which kind of goes along with Bullet in Man. I've heard other people say. Now, this is this thing on the documentary. Jeffrey gave me the guy's number. I called. I talked to him a while back here and asked him about it, how it's coming along, and he was trying to get it out to Netflix and bring it to a good place to air it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this publicly because I think it needs to be said. Last night I got a message from Matt Thompson that said, he says to me, he'd like to know how I got this guy's number, and that I called him and demanded full access or for him to release that through me. And I'm like, what? Oh, and saying that the whole project got scuttled, that it's off the board now because of me. And I'm like, what? Well, Jeffrey happened to call me this morning again, right after calling Matt Becker's office. And I said, talk to him about that. And he says, do you know Kelly Stewart? I said, well, absolutely. Yeah, she don't care for me. He said that she told Matt Thompson that I'm an FBI agent. So I'll state now equivocally, I am not, have not ever worked for any law enforcement or collaborated in any sort of way. My involvement with the FBI would be at the Bundy Ranch when they had their little dupe, Screwy Louie Arthur, walking around looking for whom they could consume, like they did with Gregory Burleson. And in Denver, when I went to the trial of Bruce Doucette, and the agent in charge there of prosecuting him or for investigating him, Ryan English, interesting set of names of those people involved in the courtroom, him, and I have this picture where I came across him the prosecutor, which Robert Shapiro or Robert Ship, yeah, that's what I like to call him. The judge's name was Spear. I forget the U.S. Marshal. He was appointed from Denver Police, the Sheriff's Department. He had a name that kind of fit in there too. But anyway, so while the jury was out, they were all sitting outside on the square outside in public, and I was with this one girl, and we was going to the library and doing some stuff. I was like, hey, what kind of reporter am I? I said, so I ran back over there. I say, hey, what kind of reporter would I be if I didn't get a picture of y'all? And mind if I take a picture? So like me, I'm going to be courteous and ask, but they said, we don't want our picture taken. I said, really? They said, really? I said, well, if you start taking a picture, we're going to go inside then. I go, really? This is really? I said, I guess I'll see you guys inside. And let me tell you what they did. They all were like trying to duck their head. Shapiro, he leans forward like this, and behind the marshal, who turns his back. The girl that was, I guess, a legal assistant, she steps forward enough to be blocked by this other girl. It might have been a student or something. And she tips her head forward and brings her hair across her face and starts looking at her phone. Ryan English, the FBI guy, he was in charge of the investigation, and then somehow he also gets to be assistant in the prosecution inside the courtroom. Doesn't make any sense. He told me what that title was. It's just, their way of stacking the deck. But he turns like this. He's like, which way do I go? Which way do I go? And there's a trash can right beside him. He turns his head and ducks his head. I thought he was going to stick his head in the trash can. I called the picture ducking out in Denver. It's the crimes of the state. So that's my involvement with anything of law enforcement. Just so that's on the record. No. I am an advocate for justice. Absolutely. And so many times we see the absence of that applied within the legal system. Jeffrey Winehouse, the list is long. Schaefer Cox, others. Bruce Doucette. I mean, they get these FBI guys in there and they infiltrate them, and they lead the thing along. I mean, I was sitting in a courtroom and listened to the testimony that they even just recorded it, so you couldn't even cross-examine them. The FBI, Marshall, he's there saying, let's kidnap this judge and we'll take him and drop him off the state line. Just like with the Schaefer Cox case and Bill Fulton trying to initiate crime and making threats. We see it time and time again. They're the fabricators of crime. Absolutely. And I am not. I advocate peace. I think that peace is settled in law, and we can't confuse law and legal.
You find all the time that a majority of the media is biased and is one-sided a lot of times, even in the alternative media or the independent media. There's always a slant or an angle being worked, but you're standing in the gap without any of opinion. You're just presenting the situation, the people in the matter involved, especially like during the Bundy ordeal.
Well,
I a lot.
I think that wouldn't really, truly, honestly be accurate. We all have opinions, and we all have our sphere of influence. Mainstream media so often is controlled. When you see in the instance of the Bundy Ranch, all these different publications, you see the article without author. It just says AP, and John Smith was his name, I think, and another guy. Oh, his name slips me. Big writer, and they just publish verbatim without even giving the author's name. Which I'm completely public in all that I do. Very easy to. Pardon?
You do your own stunts. Write your own.
Yeah,
stuff.
I do. Yeah, I definitely have my opinions and prejudice. and that is generally a just cause. I'm going to be an advocate for it, and that's why I'm so strongly in favor of advocating for Jeffrey Winehouse, just as I did for the Bundys.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Mistakes.
there's the right and the wrong, and in this situation, it's pretty damn obvious what is right. And
the mainstream media, Grimner at Real Liberty Media, calls them clap. It's corporate lame ass propaganda.
right.
And really, that's some people I think took some good lessons at the Bundy Ranch trial. Maxine Bernstein from the Oregonian, she really changed her writing and became a very, very well, I relied on her a lot for a lot of the information, especially out of Oregon. An incredible writer. I sat beside her in the courtroom one day, and I'm sitting here like a fool, just trying to write down everything, and she's sitting over here like this, looking around, and she'll just like jot a little note down, and she'd cover her paperwork up with another, so nobody could read it, I guess. And her skill is amazing. Now, ironically, about Kelly Stewart, I have a picture of her where she approached Maxine in the cafeteria up in Oregon, and it looks like she's really telling her how the cows eat cabbage, and Maxine's like that. And it's about that time, really, that Maxine became less, let her opinions reflect less in what she was writing, and became an incredible provider of information, and priceless, really. And I told her in the elevator after the trial when we're coming down, I said, you get the best in mainstream media vote, and the two AP writers, let's see, Montana from Montoya, what's his name? He writes for LA Times. There's just a bunch of these big guys in there, and a couple of them looked at me like that and all mad because I said Maxine was the best, and she is. I could say hashtag for her is the max, to the max, Maxine Bernstein. So, anyways, we're going down the elevator, and Melissa Lauder, MD Lauder, she was Brian Cavalier's girlfriend in Bundy Ranch, and they called him Buddha. He was supposed to have been Cliven's bodyguard, and he turned state's evidence. Melissa, she turned against the whole thing there, and I guess she was going to testify against that Lavoy Finicum was suicidal. And at one time, so I entered what I call the Poot Wars. They call the Bundy supporters the Poots because Dwayne Eber dug a trench up in Oregon. They say is a bunker, but others said to crap in. Funny. But anyway, so I took that and just took the brand. I'm a Poot. Okay, Vinny the Poot, absolutely. And it starts back in 2017 in the Oregonian live chat room. And the guy goes by Sky Reeve on Twitter. He's like, I was typing something in there. He's, why don't you try to say that again where it could be understood? And I'm like, he has a very good point. And it's put me on the path to become a better communicator in the written word. And I still suck. But such is life. I don't have to be perfect. I just have to do. And I think it's a duty and obligation. I think we'd see more people that would be willing to step up and help those in need. If it weren't for the fact that the whole system robs them, if we had our a company. Hi, buddy. Hey, I'm doing some live audio right here. Come on in. We have a. So if people were free and not robbed, they could have. They'd be much more generous. Hey.
Right.
Okay. I'm on the radio, so it's being broadcast in archives. So we're talking. We're going to be talking about smoking doobies, man. Hey, let me mute up just for a second. Yeah, I'll be right back.
But yeah, Vinny's Benny's been around for a while doing the on scene, standing in the gap information, especially when it concerns matters of free speech and Second Amendment rights, a whole gauntlet of things. He's been there. He's been the boots on the ground, and we're ready to continue on here.
Okay.
He's been doing radio over. He first got his start over at UCY TV, and is currently doing his thing over at RLM XYZ.
RealLibertyMedia.com, and there's the RLMradio.xyz. Click that, and you can get into find all the different channels and show hosts there, chat room, and anybody listening is welcome. And that brings to bear, our coordinator Grimner is preparing for his next journey after this life. A great guy. He's passing the mantle on to me for Real Liberty Media, and I'll be taking the helm, so to speak. And I was talking to Kate, and she's been there from the very beginning, and she and I are formulating ideas on how to proceed. That I'll be taking up for the make sure the servers are up, domain name and so forth all paid. And there's a list here of folks that have been part of Real Liberty Media that I'm going to talk to bring together here so we can work together. And although that mantle is passed to me in the helm, I'm going to take the title of custodian. You take that as a janitor, as chief cook and bottle washer, or as a custodian, as in guardian. And so that's my role. I'm not going to make any decisions on what goes on as far as our administrators that we have now. That's all for them. But there is some folks that I'm going to be talking to individually and letting them know that Grimner's passed this on to me, and to bring them on board. I'll talk to Donna and Harry. There'll be we've got a couple of levels here, and basically there's 8 of us that I want to talk to. We might call it a board, the members of the board. And I told Kate that I want her to be at the top there as CEO. And I've worked for some women before and I think women make great bosses, and I think Kate is perfect for that. I don't want the role. Like I said, I'm a custodian, and that'll be it. Then there's a few people that I'll be talking to individually. So I haven't, and we haven't announced this.
Oh no!
Oh no, we lost him.
We lost him.
All right, we'll get him back in a second. I'm sure he'll be coming back in 1 second. Just check on things that I need to check on.
Well, when he gets back, we will have him link us to the. That's what I was getting ready to.
Wonder where Amy is. Amy! Where are you?
Did the kids kidnap you?
Are you tied up in the corner?
Oh, don't cry in the corner. We'll come and rescue you.
Getting beaten by stuffed animals by your small children? Small savages?
But yeah, let me see if I can dig up the donation page. Hopefully he hops back on here. Because that would be cool if he did. Let's see here.
Oh, there it is.
Aha, there he is. Hey, welcome
There
Look
back.
at that. I got dumped there for some reason.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, now I'm echoing.
Not
You
on
hear
this
me okay?
side.
Yeah.
Okay, good. It quit. Good. All right, yeah, I got dumped there. I'm not sure. So, anyways, Real Liberty Media, I want to make sure that this legacy that our Grimner's such a great guy. I love this guy to death. I call him Big Papa. Yeah, I want to make sure this legacy continues, and it's not to be owned or possessed by any individual or group of individuals, but as I don't want you to call it a consortium. I don't know. All these words, but I do want to set up where it remains in perpetuity. And like I said, I'm not the owner. I'm the custodian. So I have a couple of levels here with the members of the board and a subset level of the VIPs, and I plan to try to bring folks together. And there may be some people that have some things to say that others might not care to hear. But I'm an anarchist, and that's what the premise of Real Liberty Media is the true sense of the anarchy that it really is. Grimmer calls it more of a anarcho-capitalist anarchy, anarcho-cap, but anyways, what anarchy means is no rulers. It doesn't mean no rules. It's the idea that we all have no right to force a will upon another, and everything we do is voluntary. It doesn't mean we don't believe in law and order, but not in the sense that law and order is used as these catchphrases, just like the rule of law. We shouldn't be under rule of law. We should be under the idea of true law, that not the law that is presented in this legal system. I say that justice should not be blind. And that's where I was going to earlier. I lost my place and thought was about on this revised statute. They allow for what is known as hearsay to be presented in this evidentiary hearing. Not only evidence, but information. And in that means, which I think is a real good idea. A fully informed jury should not be restricted from hearing anything and everything, even if it's would be deemed not relevant by others. But anyway, so the jury, their Supreme Court passed that along, and I thought it was pretty good. I got some long notes on how that stuff works there, but I really don't think we got time to go into that. But there's one part that says about hearsay. Oh, I can't recall it verbatim. But let's go back to the end here. We've been running for a little while. Jeffrey Winehouse, I'm doing a promotion for him on, and I talked to him. I said, I want to do something special for you for Christmas. And myself send some extra funds and try to encourage others to do so. Well, he says, you know what? He's good. He's fine. I talked to him about, the things that you need in prison that wear out and stuff like that.
Cheap.
Yeah. And then you got stuff like tennis shoes and long johns and knit hats and long sleeve sweat, so all that sort of thing that the person has to buy for themselves. Radio, that they allow for a TV up there actually too. So he says, you know what, I'm good. I okay. I don't. He says he'd like to see that money go to his 3 children and their mother. So I switched that into this right here at givesendgo.com. Alternative to GoFundMe, they've deplatformed people like Joshua Martinez. They're becoming like Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and the censor. Oh, I've got to read this to you, which really goes to that very fact.
1 second.
Hold on.
Hey, give me 1 second.
Okay.
You go ahead and look while I say this. In the chat, in the comments, is a link to Vinny's donate page on Facebook. Unfortunately, the link to Give Send Go is too long for YouTube's chat. So it's your best bet is to go to Vinny's page on Facebook. That is listed right there, the donate page, and you can find the link right there on that page. for a
You
gift
know what? I think if you shorten it there to, I don't know if it would work or not, if you just dropped all those letters and numbers off the end and where it says unjustly convicted prisoner Christmas fund, if that would bring the link
I don't
there.
want to chance it going somewhere. It's
Okay.
not supposed to. So
Yeah, good idea.
is to go
Oh, hey.
and see it because it's a
Thank
public.
you. Yeah, it's because of the GoFundMe and their crap going on. So, side note, standing in the gap from the front lines in Las Vegas, it was a great day indeed 4 years ago. And that's when Ammon Bundy was released. He walked out of a courtroom in Las Vegas, a free man after 2 years. And I was quoted there. Whoops, I got pushed the wrong button. View post by Frontline. I still didn't get it right. Yeah, Frontline quoted me there. So I've been front page newspapers across the world and quoted. Salt Lake City used one of my videos once without permission or even attribution. And then I went back and tried to find it later and it was gone. So anyways, but this is from Brian Hyde, who is a wonderful man I met at the trials there in Las Vegas. He was the main guy for as far as media and for the Bundy Ranch. An article that I kind of cobbled together from December 3rd of 2021 on the Brian Hyde Show. And he's quoting some other people. And I say the importance of, in parentheses, the fully informed jury in the pursuit of justice isn't too difficult to grasp. Then I say, on the same hand, having all available information in order to form intelligent decisions is how we should then live. You'll be interested in how hard the world's top internet portals are working to keep you within the boundaries of approved opinion. Yeah, so Brian Hyde, great guy. So many people involved in the Bundy Ranch trial, and that, as a whole, I've never met such a bunch of great bunch of folks. Okay, I'll come back here. Freedom Now is the banner picture there with barbed wire, and I'm going to read the page. The funds from this campaign will be received by Vincent Easley. That's me. I say, I'd like to raise a bit of Christmas money for the family of Jeffrey Winehouse, a man in prison for 9 years on an unjust conviction. Donations will go to Jeff's 3 children, Trinity, Aaliyah, and Josiah. I left the H off his name in the end, and their mother, Valerie. Jeffrey is currently awaiting in hopes for his writ of habeas corpus to go before the Missouri Supreme Court early this next year. God bless and thank you. Your support in any amount will go towards a brighter day for some folks that could always use a little extra ray of sunshine in their lives. And even the smallest amount will add up to go a long way and be greatly appreciated. I've never done any fundraising before, but I'd like to begin with one that I feel to be quite worthy. My name is Vincent Easley II. I'm an advocate for justice, wanting to make a difference. You can find out more in an exhaustive list from Rudy and Aaron that have theyearjubilee.com/Jeffrey, and that's JEFFREY right there. There's a fantastic article that they put up at the top there on that page of the St. Louis STLtoday.com. You can find Jeffrey Winehouse and how they tell the story of what happened, and just really very exhaustive there. And then besides that, there's tons and tons of links there for broadcast and articles about Jeffrey. And anybody that's willing to take the time to give an honest look will, I mean, even at a short glance, it's pretty obvious that this whole thing was a setup and an attempted execution of Jeffrey. And he goes to prison for it. Yeah. Getting shot, and then you get accused of being the one to assault. And that's the way, narcissists work. They claim to be the victim as they're attacking you, whether from the smallest things, the gaslighting, I say small, on up to 2 in the chest and 2 in the head, and they were sure he was dead, but no, he was alive. He survived. only to be persecuted
Mm.
by those in power. So it is at givesendgo.com/unjustly convicted prisoner Christmas fund. You know, that without all the letters and numbers on there. On my page there on Facebook, you can find it. God bless and thank you. Your support in any amount will go towards a brighter day. Thank you all. And I also have for fun, I thought, well, okay, let's do this thing here that Facebook has. It's a fundraiser. They're going to tax 3-point-something% and charge 30 cents for each donation. And I've got $5 out of 200, and every little penny adds up. And we're up to, like I said, it's amazing. I just found that we got a $45 donation from a friend to Jeff. Thank you so very, very much, whoever you are. Yeah, awesome. And I talk to Jeff most every day now. We had started out talking by email through the JPay system there in prison, and then we moved on to phone calls. And you know, it used to be an arm and a leg, so it's like 5 cents a minute for phone calls from prison, which my long distance is 13 cents a minute. So hey, great. And I've decided to make Jeffrey my lifelong commitment and partnership and support and advocating for him, and also to help support him financially, and look forward to the day that this man can walk out of prison exonerated. And we're starting with Matt Becker, and I want to give his information here. Where did I write it down? Right here. Okay. So Matt Becker, he's the prosecutor in Franklin County, Missouri, and he's at 15 South Church Street, room 209 in Union, Missouri, 63084, and their telephone number is 636-583-6370. And I'd like to encourage anybody to call and advocate that this man pick up this case and review it and bring it for the this new revised statute in Missouri for the unjustly incarcerated. In the meantime, Christmas, I'm trying to make just a little difference anyways. No, it's not much. I'm very surprised at how little response I've gotten on the donation. And I think it's a day and age we live in now that people have become hardened, because there's so many people on the corner and cities here in Clinton, Arkansas, 20 miles to Clinton from here. I see more often now people at the exits with signs. Lots of people trying to do fundraisers on Facebook and so forth. And I think part of that, it gets kind of stifled in the algorithms, but also mainly I think it's just the day and age that we live in. And I was talking about earlier how people would be more apt to give if they weren't already robbed to the point of near exhaustion and having to produce their labor for their needs, and then most of it's all robbed before they even get a hold of it. Plus our economy, look at the price of everything, so it's all gone to crap. But yeah, like I said, a little bit. I got $50, and if that's all it is, that's cool too. And it's not what we do that makes, it's the heart, and that's where really our thoughts really are manifested in our deeds. We have to do things for people. I mean, for the world and as a whole, to make it a better place. You can't try to change the world, but you can change yourself, and that then reflects in the world, and it's in that spirit. I think it catches on. I'd like to see it spread like wildfire. We could tempt the world right side up, but we're living under such tyranny, and it's all a rigged system. The Federal Reserve is private. There's no reserve. It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a rigged game. There's there's no choice in elections, but only choice of their selections. Like I said, so much that needs to be done to change the world, and it could be as little a thing as a smile to a passing stranger that could change their world. So that's why I say be the change.
Thank you, Benny. I mean,
Thanks, y'all.
You do so much and so much good, and I've been on, both sides of the situation, being a ex-spouse of a political prisoner and being an advocate, and it's hard work. It really is. And I appreciate you and everything that you do for everyone.
Rudy and Aaron Davis, they
Yeah,
truly
they are the unsung heroes.
truly shame me. Truly shame me. I feel like I do so little. There's just no comparison. But you know what? They also inspire me.
Yeah.
And knowing that that any amount that we do for good has some difference. And now I have a new life ahead coming, and I'm going to have to dedicate myself full time to Real Liberty Media as well, and maintaining that and bringing some new life back into it. Bringing new folks over to radio. There'll be some folks that I'm going to be asking to take part in that partnership. And like I said, there's a lot that has to be gone through and figured out along the way. And I'll be talking to individuals over at Real Liberty Media individually and letting them know what's going on. This is the first public announcement. So, like I said, Kate over there, I think she's more than capable to bear the helm there at the flagship. And like I said, I'm out of any and all decisions on what goes over there, except for being that custodian. I mean, I have to be learning so much that I've been too lazy to learn before, because Grimner was always there to do it for me.
Tech savvy, one of probably all of us, the most tech savvy in all the RLM family there.
Yeah. And he's in San Diego, but lives in New Mexico. And it's almost 4:20 in New Mexico, in land of the enchanted realm of Grimner. Man, this wonderful man. He's done so much. We don't want to see his legacy pass. And so, for myself, I'm taking that as a very serious commitment, and it's going to mean diving deep into it all. And there's going to be so much help I need from other folks, that especially with the technical end. Harry, I'm going to talk to you about being a part of it too, Donna and others. Like I said, everybody will have a part in. I hate to use this from the Communist Manifesto in Karl Marx, but from each according to their ability, we'll get our need to all together. We'll make it work, right? So I am the paraphrase plagiarist, by the way. I've got to go over here and look at this. I better not say this publicly. No, yeah, because I got this certain somebody that has me blocked, that I decided to go ahead. All three of my accounts, me, my sock puppet, and my super secret identity, Scaramouche, Capitanizani, hey, forget about it, okay. So I made another one so I could see these Twitter posting. I thought it was, and they're over here commenting on my post, and I'm blocked from seeing it. And I just laugh because, I'm easily in this person's head. And as Harry knows, if you say easily, even 3 syllables, easily, the word in everybody's mouth. That's right.
I'm always waiting for a little video to pop out of nowhere. like,
You said
yeah. Every time he says that, I'm just like, where's the he's like in a screensaver or something. Seriously.
I was listening to Grimner for like a year and a half ago, a broadcast today, and he said something Vincenicity. Yes, said something easily, and he said, yes, Vincenicity. I can't say it. I've got like, I don't know, 140 different variations of the Nick with my name, Vinny. It's just funny. And that's my little gimmick there is you said easily. Yeah.
Well, it's been a pleasure to have you on and catch everybody up with what's going on, especially getting people familiar with Jeffrey Winehouse and why it was important to be an advocate for a man.
Yeah.
He was an advocate for political prisoners and people in his situation, and this is how he's found himself. So it's very important to speak up for people in that situation,
Yeah.
I watched the video of that day, and there's no other adjective to describe that other than an execution.
Absolutely, attempted execution. They thought he was dead. Like I said, 2 in the chest and 2 in the head. That's the rule there. 2 in the chest, 1 in the head. I think is how they say it in the military. 2 in the chest, 1 in the head, and you know they're dead. Well, that bullet laying beside Jeffrey's head on the ground indicates to me that it didn't just go in his ear and out his mouth and fall down. That cop had been just pretty close to right on top of him when he tried to make that fatal coup d'etat.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, you guys. I appreciate you having me on, and let me advocate here publicly. I've been doing mostly research. I haven't been very much as far as publication. I was intending to publish our conversation, email from prison, and I withdrew and hesitant because, first of all, Jeffrey had a gag order on him of not being able to be recorded and played to air publicly. Rudy Davis advocated for him to the warden, and wait just a minute, get that man's name, Vandergrift's his name, and so now Jeffrey is at least allowed to give sermons, preach as he will, and give his thanks to God. Yeah, I'm sorry, Josiah. I left the H off your name. Where is this man at? The warden. I think it's up here in the front. I want to give his name. Guys, yes, his name is David Vandergrift, and that's at the ERDCC. That's the intake, or I forget the name of it. It's the prison up there in Bonne Terre, Missouri. 2727 Highway K, Bonne Terre, Missouri, 63628. The phone number there, if you'd like to call and thank Warden Vandergrift for lifting that at least partially and advocating for further taking the restrictions off of Jeffrey. That number is 573-358-5516. And again, as I say, always guard your words and be respectful. The chaplain there, his name is Thomas Reagan. I haven't called him. It's the extension 1331. And his email is thomas.reagan@doc.mo.gov. And I think that's where I wrote that case number. I called the prosecutor's office. They asked me for the case number for Jeffrey, and didn't have it in front of me. Yeah, this is a case number. I found it. It is 12AB-CR02 409-01. And I believe that's correct. And I got that along.
On his website or your website? Or...
No, I have yet to make publication of so much of this stuff, and that's coming pretty soon. So I need to bring in all this stuff together. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff here, and there's just so much information available. I found a link, matter of fact, from way back when from Super Dave, but I think it's on Blog Talk, but it's dead and gone. But he did a show about Jeffrey several years ago. A lot of people have. He's got the attention of Cop Block. There's a great articles there and a combination of stuff on Jeffrey's case at Cop Block, and just go there and search for Jeffrey Winehouse. Jeffrey is spelled with R-E-Y on the end, and Winehouse is W-E-I-N-H-A-U-S, Jeffrey Winehouse. I think that probably is a culmination of what I got today.
Thank you so much.
I thought it'd be a 15-minute show, but I just barely touched on anything, honestly. Please, if you can, support Jeffrey and his family. I've spoken with Valerie. Pardon?
He's got a wife and kids.
Yeah, they divorced. I didn't ask the details, but Valerie told me. Yeah, you're right. Valerie said that they'd still be married if it had other circumstances. That's all I can say. I don't know what they are, and I think that's public, or not public, but private anyway. So, very nice lady. She said that any money that is raised is going strictly to her kids. Now, they have the 3 kids. The oldest 20, 18, and 16. The oldest is in, here's the name. The oldest is in college. They all 3 live at home. The middle child is 18 years old, a senior, and a sophomore is the youngest, is Josiah. Let's see here. Where's your name's at? Come back here, up to the top. I'm so blind. Where'd they go?
Where anything really can help, they're still in school, and so that will help. So if you give, check out the link, donate, and check out RLM.xyz or Real Liberty Media.
.com. Yeah, you can find me, my writings at reallibertymedia.com/author/Vine for Vinny. And I went back, let's see, on a video about Dirty Dan Love. He was an agent in charge in Bunkerville at the Battle of Bunkerville. And we've got corrupted files. So they're starting to lose stuff. And terrible. My external hard drive, I got that out. There's nothing on it. All that stuff's gone. But my old computer, I did find a bunch of my recordings and stuff there. But on Liberty Media appears that the blogs that go along with the radio broadcast being lost. So I've got to get in there and see what's salvageable. Anyways, I'll talk forever. I better stop. Wait, one more. Trinity, Aaliyah, and Josiah, the 3 kids, and Valerie, her mom. And I hope, even just a little bit, even if it's a night, pizza, a night with pizza and whatever. Maybe we can get enough to get them a pair of shoes. I don't know. Baby needs new shoes. Come on, help out. Anyways, thanks everybody, and please do what you can, not only for Jeffrey but others. Be an advocate for justice.
All right. Thank you, Vinny.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Y'all too. Bye-bye.
I
Thanks again.